Welcome everyone. My name is Radek Piekarz. I work for Making Ways Polska. We have offices in Oslo, Stockholm, and Krakow, of course. And I'm really excited to be here. And I would like to talk today with you about MVVM pattern on Android. First, I will show that Android developers need better tools for development. And how can we make things better? And before I will talk about MVVM pattern, I will just in a few slides I will talk about MVP, and later I will focus on MVV implementations on Android which are available right now. I will discuss pros and cons for each of them, and then I will summarize everything. So, how many times have you written these lines of code? Anyone? Yeah. I think that we are wasting too much time writing these lines of codes, and we are doing this every time, day by day. And I'm pretty sure that's not only me that is reacting like this when I saw this line of code. And hopefully, the Android community is helping us to solve this problem. We can use, for example, butter knife to remove this find view by ID stuff and have better on-click connection. But, for example, we have Android annotations too. However, the real question is it enough? So who thinks that these solutions are enough for us? Please raise your hand. Okay, so you are on the right talk today, because the correct answer is no, it's not enough. So first I will talk a little bit about Model-View Presenter. And in Model-View Presenter we can distinguish three components: model, presenter, and view. The model is the interface which is defining the data to be displayed. The view is only the passive view, so it shouldn't have any logic. It should only send events to presenter or set or display the data. And the logic whole logic for the displaying this view should be in the presenter. So when user will, maybe I will show this. So when we have this, our passive view, when user clicks, we send this event to presenter. And presenter will do something like this with this event, and, for example, updates the model. However, when the model will raise the state change event, presenter will know about this and will update the view. So this is quite easy example, and we can check how we can implement this on Android. So let's define simple interface for our view. We can create three methods: hide loading, show loading, and render items. Our view presenter in initialize method will just execute these methods on the view. And our activity or fragment can just implement this interface for view. And here we can just show or hide, for example, progress bar. And I think it's not bad, because we have separated the logic from the view, and we can easily create unit tests for our presenter, which is much better than creating functional testing or UI testing, because running normal unit tests using JUnit is much faster than normal functional testing on Android, because we don't need to run any code on emulator, on Genymotion, etc. However, we can do this better, and this is when MVVM comes in. So say hello to Model-View-ViewModel. And the question is, does anyone know this pattern? Are you Microsoft developers or? Okay, maybe someone from the web? Okay, so Angular.js or Knockout? Okay, so currently MVVM is really popular across C# community, especially when you are creating desktop apps or Windows Phone apps. And in the web, through the web developers, maybe you heard about AngularJS or Knockout. They are quite popular right now, especially Angular, which is promoted by Google. On Microsoft, it was used in Microsoft Silverlight, and on desktop application in Windows Presentation Foundation. So let's start to explain what is this Model-View-ViewModel. It's similar to MVP because we have three parts: view, view model, and model. Model is only the data which is independent from the view. So we can use many views to display the same data. And view model is quite similar to presenter from the model view presenter pattern, but it works a little bit different. For example, when user will click on button on our view, the button will raise event, UI event, and will inform the view model that something was changed or the user clicked. And view model will do something with this data and, for example, update the model. However, when something will change in the model will raise the event that something was changed. View model will get this event, maybe read the data from model because view model has this data inside it, and then raise the event property changed, which is really important because this is the clue with this view model. And when view will get this property change event, it will, for example, get this data from view model and display it on the view, which is quite similar to, as I said, to model view presenter. However, all of this magic here between view and view model is done by using binding. So we don't have to write any line of code to update the UI, which is really great. And now I will present first of the libraries you can use. It's MVVM cross, and it's a great example of MVVM pattern implementation on Android. However, it was created for Xamarin, so you can use it only when you are creating your app using C# and Xamarin platform. So maybe one joke: do you know why Java developers are wearing glasses? Because they don't C#. Yeah. Okay, so this is a really sample example of activity which was wrote using C#. And the most important thing is okay, maybe you don't see everything. The most important thing is that we are extending MVX activity and we are specifying our view model, and that's it. We don't have to write anything more in our activity. So let's look at our XML file with the layout. It looks like a mostly normal layout for Android, besides two small differences. We are using list control, which comes with MVVM cross. We have some custom attributes when we are specifying our binding. And as you can see, it's not hard, and maybe we'll go to our view model. And we are extending MVX view model, which is again a class from MVVM cross. And we are simply defining some properties which will return data to the model. If you want to, for example, connect a button to our method in our view model, we need to just create property of type imvx command. And the parameter of this mvx command is function to the function or method which should be run during this command. But maybe some of you already see this, but when we are set the value on our property items, we are raising raise property change event. And this event will inform the MVVM cross that something was changed in our view model, and MVVM cross will automatically update our view. So as you can see, we don't have this find view via IDs. We don't have to write any adapters. It's great because it saves us a lot of time. But maybe what are the pros and cons of this solution? So first of all, we have two-way binding. So when user will update the data in our view, we will get notified and we will get this data, or or we can update the view from our code. It's easy to extend because we can write our custom bindings. We can create custom converters for many different types. Which is really great, we can reuse this view model across iOS, Windows Phone, and Android. So we can write only once the logic in the view model and use it across different platforms, which is really great, and just create native views for Android, iOS, etc. And it is used by many developers, and many apps was published using this framework. So I think that it's ready to use. And it's really true MVVM, and it's quite similar to Windows Presentation Foundation. And if someone was programming using C# probably knows it. And what are the cons? First of all, it's only for C# and Xamarin, and may need some additional work in order to make it work with AppCompat library. Because some of the libraries which are created for MVVM on Android can cause some problems when on the older devices, which are which are not with Lollipop version, because the tint which is done by AppCompat library may not work. But as far as I know, this is that there is one gist on GitHub how to make MVVM cross work with AppCompat on previous versions of Android. Okay, so now we are switching to Java again, and now I will talk about robo-binding. Anyone heard about it? Okay. So I think that this is probably the most mature MVVM framework for Android. It's written in Java, and it can be easily used by Gradle, using Gradle. So when we want to use it, we need to add Android APT plugin to our Gradle, and then just add some dependencies for robo-binding. Okay, so our presentation, our view model, which here is called, which is annotated with presentation model, but it's a view model for us, need to implement has presentation model change support if we want to make sure that our code will be ready to send notification to the view that some of our properties were changed. So what is really important here, we need to create presentation model change support class and override get presentation model support method in order to return this object. And then if we change value in our view model or in our view, we need to execute the method file property change with the name of the property which was changed. And if we will do everything correctly, our view should be updated. And if we are talking about view, let's switch to our activity. So here, again, no find view by IDs. Only thing that we need to do is to create main view, our instance of our view model, and connect it to the view. And in order to do this, we need to use class which comes with robo-binding and execute method inflate and bind without blah, blah, blah. So again, it's really easy. So what about our XML? And the most important things are, again, custom attributes. And if you want to have two-way binding, we need to add $. You can see this in the third white text. And we can easily connect events, for example, on click. And that's all for the robot binding. Pros, it has working two-way binding. It's generating code during compilation, so there should not be any problems with performance. It's easy to extend because, again, we can create our custom bindings, custom converters, so we can write once and use many our custom bindings across the projects. And it's up for lists, so it's really important for us. However, currently, it's not supporting recycle view. It has problems with app-compat library. And it not supporting lists with 2 and more types of item layout. So I'm not sure if anyone is using it on the production in the production application on Google Play Store. However, it's nice to know about it. I prepared a short demo, and if you want to check how you can write simple app with robot binding, you can check here. The links will be at the end of the presentation too. And now another approach, ng Android. This is the next example of MVVM implementation on Android. And it was inspired by AngularJS, which is MVVM framework for web and JavaScript. And what we have to do to implement ng Android in our project. This is a sample fragment, and what is important is that we need to start by annotating our view with ng scope. We need to create field with our view model and annotate it with ng model, and my view model is called here ng mode. And then we need to inflate our view using ng Android class, which is again, which comes with ng Android. And this is all in our view. Our view model is quite simple. It just get or sets string. And our layout, again, it may look similar to robot binding. We need to add some custom attributes and just say which property should be used on, for example, text viewer edit text. Pros. It has two-way binding. Again, there is code generation. However, there is no support for list or recycle view, and it's not production-ready library. Currently, there is some functionalities missing there, but again, it's really nice to know this. Maybe in the future, it will be more helpful for us. And just honorable mention for bind droid, it's another MVVM approach. It's quite different from previous ones because you don't create any custom attributes and make changes in your XML files. Everything you have to do is just create view model again. With bind droid, we have trackable field class, which is responsible for all of these events between view and view model. So the important stuff is here. But when we look at our activity, unfortunately, we are forced to use find view by ID or butter knife. Because, as I said, bind droid does not have any support for custom attributes in our XML file. So we need to write everything by ourselves. And I think it's horrible. But maybe in some cases it might be helpful for you. So pros. It has two-way binding. It works with app-compat library because we are inflating our view using normal Android methods. It has converter support, and the cons, there is no code generation, unfortunately. there is no compile time checking if everything is okay. So when we will change, for example, name of the property, it will fail because we pass the name of the property as a string in our code. So this is a really big problem, I think. And we need to write too much code for bindings. And I think that many of you are waiting for this. So do you know what I will talk about now or not? Okay, so during Google I/O, Google announced their own data binding library, and now I will be talking about this. So it was announced by Google during Google I/O this year. It's created by Google, of course, and currently it's available as beta. And if you want to use it, we need to add plugin to our Gradle, which is data binder, and apply this plugin in our app Gradle build file. And what is really important for us that now the layout of the XML file will change. In our root, we will have layout node. Then we have data node with variables. I will talk about it later. And in our data, we can specify information about variables that will be used in our views. So in our case, it will be, of course, our view models. However, we can pass other variables from our view or our activity to the binding library. And last but not least, of course, we have custom attributes in order to make the binding for our view model properties. I don't want to be boring, so I will not be talking about Android data binding library itself because you can read the documentation about it. So I prepared example how to use it with recycle view because I think it's more interesting than simple hello world stuff. And I can say that it's doable. I spent maybe 2 hours to learn the data binding library and connect it to the recycle view. First what we need is we need to create our base view model. And Google comes with observable array list, which is responsible for notifying our view that, for example, we add new item to the list, or etc. And if you want to make this bindable to the view, we need to annotate it with bindable annotation. And I have sample add user method in order to add some new user. Okay. And what about our activity? The most important parts are here. So first, we need to create our view model. Then we need to bind this view model to our view. So we are using data binding util set content view method, which is from data binding library. And then we should, of course, set our view model to the view. And because data binding library is using code generation, it generates data binding class for each view, which we are using with this library. And it exposes the method to set the variables which we defined in our XML file. So in my case, it was user view model, which is for my view model. That's it. I will show the demo in the next slide. And what is really great about this Android data binding library is that Google made a tremendous job to add some cool expression language to this binding. So we can, for example, execute string format in XML with parameters from our view model. we can import some static methods from other classes and use them in our binding. We can use resources in our bindings. And it has built-in butter knife functionality, so when we are using views which have IDs, the generating binding class will expose these fields by using the ID. So it will generate the fields using the name, the ID which we used in our XML. And of course, we can create our custom bindings. So in my case, I use the functionality to create custom binding for recycle view. And sorry. Okay, sorry about that. And here you can see I don't know why it's not playing. Okay. Really simple example with recycle view. The first row is one type of the layout, and the rest of them are the second one. So as you can see, we can create binding for recycle view, which will support many different types of items. And you can check on GitHub this example, and I'm pretty sure that you can use this binding in your project, because I was using generics, so you can connect it to any other model you want. So pros and cons. Pros, of course, is official library from Google. Yeah, we like it. It uses code generation, cool. It has compile time check, so when we will change something in our code and forget about changing something in, for example, our view, it will inform us during compilation about our error. It's really easy to use and extend. The really great feature is this expression language. And I think, maybe not now, but in the next few months, it will become the new standard in Android development. And the cons. Unfortunately, right now, there is no two-way binding. I asked one guy from Google if they are preparing to add this functionality in the future. And he said that they have it on their to-do list, but they he doesn't know when they will implement it. And unfortunately, currently, there is no IDE support for these libraries, so you will have a lot of false positive errors in IDE. However, the code will compile and run. So, first takeaway from this presentation. Please learn and use MVP pattern. It will make your life really easier. Second one, get familiar with MVVM and try Android data binding library. And write unit tests for your presenters and view models. So if you have any questions, just ask me. And here are all the links for these libraries, demos, etc. Any questions?